Welcome to the Dad's Corner, where fathers unite and stand strong against the challenges that life throws our way.
Here, we celebrate the victories, learn from the defeats, and support each other through every step of this incredible journey.
Father, please grant me the strength to withstand the shots and shooting like Teflon. Running through these obstacles, all the opposition gets stepped on. Dedicated to the mission, steadfast in my commitment, and I'm standing on business. You with me? Father time, the enemy crossed the line. Trying in my head, but I'm of sound mind. This is by design, putting it all on the line. I will lift my hands, I get down, I get down, I get down for mine. Hit like Father time, yeah, I get down for mine. Go hard like Father time, yeah, I get down for mine. Hit like Father time, yeah, I get down for mine. Go hard like Father time, yeah, I get down for mine. Hit like Father time, yeah, I get down for mine. Go hard like Father time, yeah, I get down for mine. Hit like Father time, yeah, I get down for mine. Go hard like Father time, yeah.
What's up, guys? Jayson Kreisel here, man. I'm sitting with my good buddy, good friend, Tony with the keys.
What's up, Jayson?
How's it going?
Yeah.
We are here at the Dad's Corner. We need a spot for guys and for dads to come and meet, and no better place than in the ring together, fighting life's battles as fathers. So, welcome. Thanks everybody for being here. This is episode 1. Hopefully one of many.
One of many.
One of thousands. I saw somebody posted the other day. They said one of forever. So hopefully this is number one of forever.
that.
So not to put a number on it, but number one of the future of the Dad's Corner. So thanks for being here, Tony. Thanks for joining.
Man, I'm super excited, Jayson. I stopped saying I can't wait. So I kept saying I'm looking forward to this opportunity for this podcast, because it's really going to be impactful. I just know that this is going to be a great space for our community, to grow a community, and to really shed some light on the things that we go through as fathers, as dads, man.
Yeah.
And so, I'm excited.
Yeah, me
Super
too, man.
excited.
It's gonna be good. We're gonna try to keep it light, we don't want this to be some serious, somber type podcast, but we also want to get, hit the conflicts in the areas of interest of dads across the world without actually having to just negate it to one small area. So, let's get into it. I'm going to tell a little bit about myself, and then we'll kind of give a little brief description. And episode 1 is going to be kind of an introduction to who we are and why we're doing this. And so, again, my name is Jayson. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Casey, of almost 11 years. So, crazy that it's been that long. We have 2 kids, Cope and Colin. Probably the toughest job I've ever had was being a husband, and then after that, God said, "Well, let me raise the bar." And being a father is even tougher. But so happy, so thankful. 2 healthy kids, 2 happy kids. Definitely a lot of stuff that we're going to cover in this podcast. And the reason that we're doing this podcast is because a lot of things that I was faced with, or that dads do, you don't really even think about.
That's right.
And you don't even really consider. And so, gonna go over all that, and then, but just very thankful to that God gave me the opportunity to be a father. I know some people aren't blessed with that. Was blessed with an amazing role model in my own father, and so that was one of those things that was tough to lose, especially before having kids, which we'll get into later. But it was great having a role model of what a dad was supposed to be, and him laying the groundwork, and so I kind of just want to pass some of that groundwork on to some of the other guys.
That's good, man. That's good, and that's a good reason to be here. That's a good reason to do this. And my name, I go by Tony with the keys. So I am the husband to one, Tiffany Washington. We've been married for 2 years. We're approaching our second marriage anniversary. We've been together for 14 years though, and I'm sure we'll get into all of that stuff as well. I've got 4 beautiful, amazing children, ranging from a 5-month-old to 17 years old. My children are Anaya Rain, Tylen Capri, Timberland Dex, and Triton Hurricane. So awesome kids. I love them so much, and I do so much, Jayson. Like I do this marketing. I sold cars forever and still sell cars, but now I kind of help dealerships, sell cars, drive traffic. I drive traffic to local businesses. I do music. I do all of these things, but my favorite thing to do in this whole wide world is the thing that I do the most, that we don't talk about just because it's something that we just do. It's innate. It's what we do, is being a dad. And so that's why this was like, whenever you called with that idea, like, hey bro, let's do something for the fathers. Like, let's do something to really shed light on the fathers of this world. And I was like, yes, I'm all for it, because that's like it takes up all of my time. Even whenever I'm working, when I'm doing things, I'm doing it for my kids. So I love that we're doing this and getting to shed some light on those, on the fathers, on the dads out there. So
yeah, and that's why when I thought about this idea, and I've told you about this, I mean, was kind of the selling point on getting you to do this with me, was you look around and it's very much needed. I'm not taking anything away from mothers or anything like that. There's so many mom groups, there's so many support groups, so many Facebook groups and just social media platforms, and everything's always geared towards the moms. And let's be honest, we couldn't do it without them.
100%.
I mean, we literally, God chose women to have for a reason.
100%.
They make a lot of jokes about, being 9 months pregnant, and I almost know how my husband feels to have a cold. You know what I mean? so it's like that's there's a lot of truth to that. I sometimes get a sore throat and I'm like, gosh, it's got to be like pregnancies, like, it's just, but we need the moms, and what they do is invaluable. Like, it's incredible the strength that they have. But when I got to looking around, I'm like, there's nothing not only for dads not to just come and complain about, but just an outreach for new dads, what to expect. I think mothers, it comes so naturally to them to be good moms. And I thought, man, for dads, it's really not that way. You need some guidance, or there's just some questions you need answered.
And you know what? There's like so many misconceptions about what a dad is. There's so many misconceptions about how we're supposed to proceed as a father. And I think that it's important that we shed some light on those things. Like, that's what this is about, is being able to shed some light on what a good dad looks like, and not all dads are created equal, not all situations are created equal. And so I think being able to really highlight some of those perspectives, those different outlooks, is going to be really good. And yeah, man, I love you moms. I love them. But man, y'all got a space for moms with everything. In every city, every county, there's like a mom group for you. If there is a dad group, and this is not like moms versus dads or anything like that, but like, I think there needs to be this space. Like, there needs to be this space. We're so underserved.
Well, we want the moms to watch this too, just to kind of get a perspective on, sometimes maybe if your husband, the father of your kid, isn't doing something, it's not necessarily because he's just not doing it.
Yeah.
It's maybe something, I think a lot of us, we think, okay, we got to build the crib, we got to build the stroller, we got to build all this stuff. And then once everything's built, well, then dads kind of step back, and it's not that way. There's a lot of times where we're sitting here not sure what to do. Like I said, for moms, like just almost instinctively, like, I need to do this, I need to do that. And for us, it's kind of like we step back, like, you do what you do, and then like, am I in the way? Do I need to step back? And one example I gave Tony when we first started this was, whenever it was like we're pregnant, it was like, one thing I thought of was, all right, the midnight feedings, the 1 o'clock in the morning, like, all right, I got to get up, make the bottle. I need to, I need to be right there. And while she gets our son up, well, then she breastfed.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, now what do I do?
Do I need to even be?
Yeah. So it was like, and I looked at her and I was like, do you want me to just sit with you? Or, I mean, half the times she'd already be feeding him and I'd just be kind of coming to. And so there's thousands of things like that we're going to cover on this podcast, that it's just giving a perspective from not a guy that's not doing something, but that he just maybe isn't sure what to do. And we see y'all being so natural at it that we kind of take a step back and say, all right, let me know if you need me.
And you know what? It's not necessarily just a parenting show either. So I don't want I don't want that misconception like it's just about parenting. Because we're talking about dads in business, dads in sports, dads coaching, mentors and all. Like I think that it's a very wide span of what that means. And from a biblical standpoint, like I believe that it's leadership, like it's being a leader. And so I think that that's going to be really powerful, a powerful position to really stand on, is that it's not just us teaching about parenting, because everybody parents a little bit different. Yeah. I think that it's shedding light on the different perspectives of parenting, but also dads at work, dads, doing these different things, dads in business, dads in sports, coaching. Being a good mentor to a child that's not even your son, that's not your child. Like, I think all of those things are going to be, powerful to bring up. And so,
well, and you shed some light on it too, which is kind of where the idea spawned is, 20 years ago, if you'd asked myself or you, what does a dad look like? We would have given our dads. Yeah. And I would have said one kid and married to one woman for 30 some odd years and things like that. But then when I started to take an inventory of my friends, I looked around. I mean, you being one of them, with fatherhood is the same responsibility for every guy.
That's right.
But it looks different. Fatherhood, especially biblically, it's written out how you're supposed to be a dad.
Yeah.
The playbook is the Bible, and it tells you exactly what to do. But what's nice about it is that doesn't mean that you and I wake up in the exact same shoes every day, wake up with the same number of kids, the same situations. And so even though it's like being the boss of a business, well, the business is different for everybody.
That's right.
Just because you're the head person doesn't mean your company's the same as this company. And so I kind of view it like that, as I got to looking, and it was, I have 2 kids and been married to Casey, like I said, for 11 years. But then I looked at some buddies who became stepdads first before they even had their own children, which I don't have that point of view. Friends who have adopted kids, I don't have that point of view. And not that any situation is good, bad, anything like that. It's just every situation's different. And so it got to showing me that there's not really, what is a dad? It's not really just,
it's not cookie cutter.
No,
it's not like these houses that are going up all over, all over Northwest Arkansas.
Exactly.
That you might get to choose 1, 2, or 3. It's like
change your color options.
Yeah, to change your color. Like a dad it spans over a whole bunch of different ideas. And so I tell you what, Jayson, I think that we should let's read this manifesto.
Yeah.
So we created this manifesto, and I believe that every business should have something that kind of is a core value, what you are. And so we're going to go back and forth on this manifesto. This is the Dad's Corner Manifesto. It goes, welcome to the Dad's Corner, where fathers unite and stand strong against the challenges that life throws our way. This podcast is for every dad who wakes up each day ready to face the battles that come with fatherhood. We fight against the doubts, the fears, and the obstacles that try to bring us down.
Here, we celebrate the victories, learn from the defeats, and support each other through every step of this incredible journey. Together, we overcome objections, embrace our responsibilities, and strive to be the best versions of ourselves for our families.
As fathers, we are leaders. We lead with courage, with compassion, and with the commitment to making the world better for our children. We set the example, we pave the way, and we inspire our families to follow in our footsteps.
The Dad's Corner is not just a podcast. It's a brotherhood, a community, a safe space for every dad to share, grow, and thrive. Join us as we navigate the ups and downs, and remember, you're not alone. We're in your corner.
The Dad's Corner. Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So that's kind of the point behind the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a brotherhood, and it's, guys struggle, and guys don't want to talk about that they struggle, and we're not going to sit here and just dive into feelings.
No,
we're not qualified to do that. But it's also when you wake up and you're thinking, man, this is tough, or I've got this going on. You're not the only one. Just remember that you got people to reach out to. You got people who can at least offer some advice, or not even advice, just listen to you complain.
No, that's right.
get
That's
it
right.
out, and then and move on.
That's right. I don't want it to be stale. Like, I think that's one of the cool things is that our relationship, like, we've known, how long have we known each other, Jayson? I said 6 years today, but
Man, I think it's been 6-7 years, because we had the insurance company a few years before I joined the networking group that we were a part of,
Yeah.
and we met. You were still
I was selling cars.
still selling cars, yeah. So it's been 6, 7, 8 years, somewhere in there.
So, I mean, and we've always had just a lot of fun, and like, you know.
I mean, we went to an escape room with our
bro.
before we even had
Oh
kids.
my gosh, bro,
Yeah.
the escape room was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to remember that
Oh man,
thing
we
that
had Casey
Casey
did.
did.
She didn't have to sing it. Yeah,
She got us out of there.
We literally were not going to be able to get out of the room. You had to sing to make the lights around the door light up, and none of us figured it out, and she started singing in a high pitch, and the lights started lighting up, and we just let her keep going.
Oh man, that was a good time.
Yeah.
Bro. That was fun. We need to do another escape room.
Yeah.
And take some cameras with us.
That's great.
Well, I don't think they'll let you have cameras in the escape.
Nah, because then you get
Because
the
then everybody knows.
Everybody knows how to
Everybody
get
knows
out.
the secret. But yeah, we definitely need to do another one. But yeah, man. So I tell you what, how was like we're recording this a couple days removed from Father's Day.
perfect day for us. To start
Perfect
the-
day to start the Dad's Corner podcast. Like, I love Father's Day. Like, I like to be appreciated. And you know what? I'm one of those guys that's like, man, you don't have to do nothing.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't worry. Like, you don't got to do nothing for me. What'd you do for Father's Day?
Well, that was the thing too. It's funny that you say that, because Casey said Sunday we got up, we went to church. That's probably one of the best parts. Just having everybody get up, go to church. Mom was able to go with me, which is awesome. And so we're sitting there, and she said, "Hey, I think I'm gonna take the kids and go into town." And I said, I knew why she was going into town. Don't go to town. Like, I'm good. Y'all just be here. We're gonna cook dinner later. Like, let's don't do it. But we got up, we went to church, we went to eat at Longhorns, which is
Okay. Okay.
Daddy was able to get in the porterhouse.
Oh,
My goodness, yeah. So it's always a special day when you get that filet with the strip all in one. So we ate that. Went to, let's see, when we left there, we went back to the house. Casey took Cope. They went into town. Colin was a little on the struggle bus, so needed a little bit of a nap.
Yeah.
So me and her stayed at the house, and then they got back, and that night for dinner, let's see, I smoked some ribs on a smoker. So did those. Casey made all the sides. It was.
So I told Tiffany, like, I was like, after we had done everything, and I'll recap, but like I told her, like, let's just go grab some steaks. I'll go out and grill. Like, I kind of want to grill, and you just do all the sides. And I was like, you know what? I don't even want to grill today. Like, it was already 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock when I got home. So I woke up a little bit late. So slept in. Tiffany just let me sleep in. I was up all night with Triton. Triton has been kind of sick. In fact, he's got some stuff going on. Was up all night with him, and so she let me sleep in. She took the kids and left. Same thing, left the house, and I didn't even think anything about it. And they got back, and I got up, got to moving around. My sister's at the house right now. She stayed with us after my son's birthday, and we kicked it. My son's birthday was Saturday, so that was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And then moving into Sunday, Father's Day, like, it was just really like my son stayed at the house with me. We played some stuff. We hooked up some of his toys. He's got a drone, and so we kind of chilled a little bit. Had a pool party that we had to go to because his cousin's birthday. So we went to this pool party. That was cool. I just kind of chilled at the pool party. I didn't even get in. Like, I just sat back with Triton, and we were just hanging out. And then whenever we left there, like, she was like, okay, whatever you want to eat, whatever you want. And I was like, man, let's just get some steaks and all this. And I was like, you know what? I just want some bomb nachos. I just want some everything nachos. Everything nachos. And so she made some rotel. We had cheese, some ground beef. Like it was a thick nacho, some wings, and we sat back, we watched some movies and chilled and ate some nachos, man. And it was a good night. They came out, my son had a little card, my daughter had a card. And they got me, they had drawn and painted these cards, bro. It was super heartfelt. I loved it. And then they brought out, I didn't have a cornhole. Set.
Okay.
And so they got me this cornhole set that lights up and all this stuff, bro. It's so dope. Like, I was so excited. I was so excited about this thing. So yeah, I got me a cornhole set now. So
dude, that's awesome. Yeah. So whenever I was, they got back, I could hear him in Casey said, "Hey, don't come in the office for a little bit."
Yeah, they tried.
So of course I have to walk back and forth by one of the most common rooms in our house and just have my head turn every time I can't look in there. And so I hear him and I hear him saying, what we did this year, and I started it on Mother's Day, is I took the kids and I said, I can get Casey stuff. You should treat her like that every day. I don't need a certain day for you to tell me to celebrate her. But I took the kids and I said, I'll tell you what, y'all pick out anything you want. Like we're in this little section right here. It's got Mother's Day stuff. I said, y'all pick out whatever you want from Mom. Whether it makes sense or not, y'all pick out your own cards. You pick out your own gifts. So we're walking through and they pick out a card, and Cope's card was like a graduation. So I had said happy graduation. I had to scratch out graduation and put Mother's Day
awesome.
and stuff like that. And so she kind of did the same thing. She said, all right, Cope, pick out what do you want to get him? And so they bring it to me, and we always do cards from the kids and then cards from us that way. And so the card from the kids was awesome and was funny. I'm pretty sure it wasn't a Father's Day card. I think it was a birthday or something like that. But then I get to open in the gifts, and it's a Spider-Man headband game that you put these cards in. You got to tell the person what it is.
Love that game.
That's what I wanted. And for Father's Day, water balloons to hook up to the water hose.
Absolutely.
Gotta have those.
Love those.
Which the kids used. There was 100 water balloons, and they were gone in, I think it was 52 seconds. Timed it.
Yeah, I did 400 of them for Dex's birthday. They were gone within 3 minutes.
Well, and one thing, I don't know what water balloons y'all got, but the ones we got, if I stood 10 feet away and threw it as hard as I could, it would bounce off your back.
It's not going to bust.
But if it touches a blade of grass, done. So Colin's literally picking them up, and she dropped one, and she dropped 2 or 3 of them, and they just cracked. I hit Cope with one across the yard, and it smacked him one off. I thought, well, that's not going to be a good injury if we get hurt with water balloons. And then there was one other gift. Oh, yeah, it was a Lego, like an Iron Man. It was like a 154-piece Lego set.
That's awesome.
So it was the whole gifts, and of course, every 15 minutes it was, I'm going to put that Lego thing together. You're going to put that Lego thing together. But probably the coolest gift they got me they made at school, and I was telling you about this earlier, first off, teachers, y'all have, first off, the patience you have is incredible, but then the ideas that they have. So my son's teacher, Miko, she's probably one of the coolest teachers I've ever seen in my life. She's so awesome. Traced his hand and made his handprint into a shark. Ugh. And it said, Happy Father's Day, Daddy Shark. And then at the bottom, he wrote a little, she wrote it for him, but it was I love my dad because he takes me to play games and he plays outside with me. I love when Dad tickles me and we play sports. And then the last thing it said, I love the most about my dad is his hats, which is such a random statement. And then my daughter, her teacher traced her hands and said, these are the hands that hold Dad's heart. And it was
come on
now.
Come on.
And so it was awesome, but it's just those little things. Whenever I didn't have kids yet, I thought Father's Day, with my dad, we would go out to eat or we would do a card. We'd celebrate him, but it wasn't anything crazy. But then it was now that you get these little, because the kids color something every day, and I feel bad. Some of them make their way into the wastebasket. I don't want to say that I throw them away, but I'm not going to tell you that I keep them all.
I know we keep certain things. We keep things with handprints.
Yeah, if it's a piece of paper that it looks like they had some time to kill at school and they just said, here's some colors, kill some time, those go away. but get like the ones that are just like, oh, you put some, there's some fun. Is this
stuff
one?
in there.
Yeah. And so, but that's what we did. And man, honestly, it was just nice to spend the day just hanging out.
That's right.
Just being with the kids. As I get older, it's also cool, like being able to tell buddies, like, hey, man, happy Father's Day. New dads or dads. I mean, some of my buddies have 3 and 4 kids, so they're well versed in this. But it's just cool to have.
But you know what though, like coming off Father's Day, and I know that you've heard this. Like there was a comedian, I can't think of who it was, but he does this joke like where he's like, Father's Day is the 20th. Mother's Day ranks number 2 or something like that.
As Christmas is number 1, and Mother's Day is number 2. So that means it's Jesus, and then your mom.
Exactly. And Father's Day is like number 20 on the list, of...
I can't even think of 20 other.
I can't either. And he goes on, he says something, Arbor Day is above Father's Day. Like, what is Arbor Day? I still don't know what Arbor Day is. I think it's like the land or trees or something like that.
But you'd have to look it up.
So... Bro, it's such a funny joke. It's so funny. Like, and I didn't even second guess it. Last night I started doing just some little research. Like, is Father's Day really the number 20 holiday? And I found out that it's a joke. So but I didn't even second guess that.
Yeah.
And
it is a little way. I mean, it's not.
It's down. It's down. It's
it's 7th or 8th, I think.
Yeah, which is your major holidays, all your
Halloween was ahead of it.
Halloween is ahead of Father's Day. So Ghosts and Ghouls above fathers and dads, like,
which is kind of the point of this.
And that's the thing. Like, I just think that fathers are underappreciated, are under recognized, under rewarded, underserved, and like, we still have to do the work. We still have to go out and do these things, even though we know that we're not going to get the participation award. Like, it's something that we do. It's something that we do. We provide. We make sure that everybody's straight. We protect. We do all these little things. Like, we got to go kill all the bugs. We got to, we got to do all the things. And I think that it's just something like that. I didn't second guess that it was ranked that low. And maybe it's because of the perception that mothers are everything, and that, and mothers are. And I think that
they're like the star performer at the concert. We're the ones setting up the equipment.
Absolutely. But without the equipment, it's just the woman singing. Like, and at some point we're going to get out of this where I'm like, trying to not step on toes about mothers and fathers. Like, this is for the fathers. Like, here's the thing is that we see, I know what I do. Like, I know that I do a lot of things, this and that, put stuff together, like, make sure that everybody's good, lock all the doors, like, do all the things, like, just the little things that we do. And it's crazy that it's underappreciated sometimes. And I don't want to say that my wife doesn't appreciate it. I'm just saying as a whole.
Well, and that's the thing. This isn't you said that in the beginning. Yeah, this is not, we have 2 amazing wives.
100%.
And I think just from how they treat both of us, it's clear that they more than appreciate us. It's more of a general conception from just the worldview.
That we didn't even second guess that.
Well, and we had a thing last night. It's funny because this is just there are. If you don't think there's roles in a marriage, you're not being honest with yourself about it.
That's right.
And so there are different roles, and both partners are equal, but there are different roles. And so last night we're laying in bed, and it was probably 12:30, dozing. I mean, both of us are just about asleep, and it dawned on me that I never turned the water on outside when I was filling all the animals' waters. And I jumped up, and she's, what? And I'm like, I left the water on. And it had been on for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And so and I say that to say, I left it on. There was never a thought in my mind of, hey, Kez, will you go outside and go turn the water off?
That's right.
You know what I mean? And there was never a thought in her mind where she was thinking, I'm going to go turn this water off. And so it was like I jumped up and I go outside, and of course then I can't find a flashlight. And the flashlight I find, batteries are dead. And so it's just, got to go get batteries. Anyways, I do all this, go outside. The yard is flood.
Oh no.
The 2 dogs in the backyard, we have like an acre and a half that the dogs stay in.
They go dog paddling.
Oh, they're literally laying in it. Like, they're big Great Pyrenees dogs. They're laying in it. And I'm like, what are we doing? Y'all couldn't bark? Y'all couldn't let me, like, hey, it's flooding. Like, something's going on. I can get outside and I can literally hear the water overflowing into the yard. But anyways, turn it off, come back in, put the flashlight up, get upstairs. You know, Casey's waiting up, but she's also, it's just one of those things where it's like, that's your responsibility.
That's right.
Without us having to have some kind of formal talk about it. It was like,
That's right.
here's your, this is you. But I did see something really cool last night. Since we're doing it, I mean, it's all kind of working out. So, NBA finals ended last night, and are you happy or are you not?
Congratulations.
I feel like you shook your
Congratulations. I mean, like, I didn't have a dog in that fight.
Me either.
First and foremost, if both of those teams could have lost, I would have been okay with it. If they would have just said, okay, and the champion this year is gonna
roll it over
to next year. But definitely not Boston. But I do celebrate. I'm happy for those guys. They worked hard.
Well, first off, who's your dog in the fight? If you had one, who's your team?
Any team LeBron is playing for. So I'm a Laker fan right now.
Well, this works perfect because I'm for any team that is playing against LeBron.
Well, that's fun. That's perspective. That's perspective. That's
what's
good.
cool about last night is I was the same way. Don't care who won. Luka kind of changed my mind on a lot of things. I thought he was prepared more mentally, and then with the complaining with the refs, he just kind of showed his age.
He did.
But Jayson Tatum winning, and like right as the banner or the confetti and everything's coming down, Deuce, his son, comes on the court, hugs him, and I'm like, when guys win championships in almost any sport, you see them hug their wives, you see them thank their moms. But it was like that was a father-son. I think Chris Paul and Curry and them started this a few years ago, like having their kids more involved. But seeing like him being proud to like pick his son up at the finals and be like, I became an NBA champion, but like I'm a dad.
And it's a different feeling, like to have your son see you be a champion,
right?
Like for him to experience that, and the confetti's falling for your dad. Like,
oh yeah,
that's powerful.
And he's like crying, but then he like picks him up, and it's just one of those moments where you're like, he's getting to pick his son up as an MP, like
powerful, dude.
Like he could have been doing anything. He could have been running around the court. He could have been, but the first thing he did was pick his son up.
It's powerful.
And that's the thing. That's a job that's never done. Whether your kids get older, grow up. I mean, you having a 5-month-old all the way to 17, like even when the 5-month-old is 18, 20, like you're not done.
That's right.
Being a dad. And so it's really seeing that last night, put it in perspective that even if you're an NBA champion making millions of dollars,
that's right.
The first thing you thought of was, I want to pick my son up.
That's right. And the first thing he said whenever he got on the mic was, he gave it up to the big dad. Like he gave it up to the father. And so I think that a lot of it, a lot of that he's able to do just comes from his spiritual guidance as well.
So, and their head coach.
And their head coach.
He's seen a lot of the stuff that he's.
He's a young dude too, man.
He said there was one time where I guess there was a game where Prince William and Kate, I think is her name, was at the game, and they said, "Oh, did you go to speak to the royal family?" And he said, "Mary, Joseph, and Jesus were here." And he said, "That's the only royal family I know." And and that was it. And then they tried. They do this every time with race, but they said this is the first finals where both coaches were, and especially on, I think it was the Eastern Conference side, were black coaches. And he said, how do you feel about that? And what are your thoughts on that? And he said, what if the story was how many of them are Christians? And it was like,
walk off.
Quit the narrative and change it to something else. And so it was really cool. It's still nice to see people thank God whenever they are blessed with stuff like that.
That's right. Jayson, I don't know how long we've been going.
We're like a little over 30 minutes.
Here's the thing, bro, is that we could talk forever, and I think that was the mission of this podcast, is that this is the first of forever. And so I'm super excited, man. Look, underappreciated dads, if you feel that way, like this is your space. If you're overworked, you're putting in a lot of time, you're doing all the things, we want you to know that we see you. Like, I know I know what it looks like. I know that it like you still have to do the job. And there's a lot of dads out there who don't do the job, but this is for the ones that do. And hopefully those ones that don't, like, pay attention and begin to do. Like, you know, you're going to have to keep doing it. You're going to keep going. This is a space for you to be celebrated. We celebrate you. We're in your corner, man. Like, for real. We are in your corner. We're rooting for you. We got your tape and all your stuff. Like, we're gonna make sure that you're good and ready to go out there and face those obstacles that come against you. But definitely I think that's a very big thing is that feeling of underappreciation. And I think that causes other things to creep in whenever you don't have the mental fortitude and you start feeling like that. I think that it causes other issues. And so if we can get past that and celebrate the dads, celebrate the fathers every day, every week as this show comes out, like, I think that's a powerful tool, powerful thing that we can continue to do, man.
Well, and also if you have questions, comments, this is not an advice podcast. This is not where we're solving the real problems. But if you have comments or things you want to hear talked about or discussed, or things you've struggled with as a dad, especially for dads who are going to be new dads. You know, remember what it was like when you were becoming a new dad and you didn't know what to expect. If you have some advice that you want to send to us, comment on our YouTube channel, send us any Instagram, any social media platforms, comment. We'll try to get as many of those read every week as we can. Just to let people know that there are other guys that are in the same situation as you, that were struggling or that had questions about. It's a platform for guys just to get together and do things about. And so that's going to be a segment that we'll do is just reading comments, questions, and addressing them as we go.
Absolutely. We're also going to do like some dad jokes on here too, and they might be bad. Like, we're going to do sports.
We hope that they're super bad.
Oh, I'm hoping so. And matter of fact, I want you to send in your dad jokes as well. You can send them in the comments of our YouTube. You can send them to our email at info at lc.dadscorner.com, and that'll be somewhere on the screen, so you'll know exactly where to send it. Send us your dad jokes. I got a dad joke for you right now.
I want to hear it.
What did the baby computer call his father?
I don't know. I think I might know.
Data.
Classic. Man, so I'm gonna end it with something that my dad used to say religiously to me, and I think I would say most dads. I've said it to my kids. Absolutely. Shut the dang door. Like, we appreciate the door. Shut the door. Shut the door. We're not trying to cool outside. And I'm like, Dad, I'm not trying. I don't think I can. But you know. But then I became a father, and I'm like,
shut the dang door.
So appreciate it, guys. Episode 1. That's it.
It's in the books, man. Good job. Bro.
Nice.
Good job.
I liked it.